let's draw part 17. We're going to model part 17 in Inventor. And with this part, we can start with just a big cube. We can draw this part in 3 steps. A cube, cut out a circle, and then we're done. So because it's so many, few steps, I'm going to show you another way that you can kind of sketch things out, and just some ways that you can kind of do things differently so you get more comfortable in Inventor. All right, so let's go to our Inventor software and let's start a sketch. And let's sketch on the front view. So I've told you over and over again, look, just draw the part and then we can put some dimensions on it. Well, we can also draw it the right size the first time if we want to. So I'm going to just kind of scroll out, and that means your roll button is going to scroll away from you, which is the opposite of what we would do in AutoCAD. I'm going to get a rectangle, and I'm going to pick a corner. Now you see these boxes that I have? I can type a number. So my rectangle is 4 wide, and then I can click tab, and it is 2.5 tall. Zoom up. So I made it the right size to begin with. I can slide these up a little closer. And now this is what's going to happen. And I did this on purpose, because sometimes when you zoom extents, that origin point in these crosshairs will place a dot there sometimes. So you can do a couple of different things. You can highlight all of this and drag it closer to your origin point, or sometimes you can highlight that dot and click delete, but it still goes to that origin. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So if you want to highlight and just pull this back to your origin point and get it close, so when you zoom extents, you can actually see things a little better. So I wanted to show you that so you can kind of get used to what's going to happen sometimes when you have that origin and you may just draw out into space. So here's my rectangle. So I'm just going to click Finish Sketch, and then I'm going to click my little house. So here's my cube, and I'm going to click Extrude, and the depth on this is 3 inches. I'm going to tell that okay. So let's do this circle cut out of the top and pull down. Okay, so we're going to do this circle and pull this down with a 1-inch radius. So I'm going to click here and create a sketch. Now I'm going to go to circle, and this is in the middle. So if I get the green dot, that is my midpoint. When I click, it's asking me for a radius. So I can just place it and then come back a dimension, or I can type in 1 and hit enter. So you can do things right the first time with your dimensions, or you can just draw the shape and then put the dimensions. Now I can trim this off, but because I know there's nothing else that I need to do, I can just hit Finish Sketch. Click Extrude, and see, I got to pick. I can pick both sides if I want to, and then I want to cut it all the way through. So I told it to cut through all. Told okay. See? Now, let's look at our part. We've got a 2-inch radius on this back corner pulled forward. So I'm going to actually sketch on this back face. Now let's flip this over, because it kind of put me in a weird position, right? Because so this is where I want to be, and it's okay to kind of move this. Yep, see, there's my circle back there, so I want to be on this back corner. So I'm going to go to my circle command, make sure I've got the green dot right on the corner, and this is a 2-inch radius. Finish the sketch. I want to extrude it, so I want to cut, and I want to cut forward by 2. So there's my part. I'm finished. So at this point, make sure you save, because we haven't saved it. And then if you leave this open, okay, I'm going to save this. This is part 17. And I'm leaving this open, and I'm going to go back to my little house down at the bottom to go back to my splash screen, and I'm going to open my title block. So now when I hit base, because that drawing is open, see, it's automatically connected to my cursor. So now I can change my scale, can move this, I can pick, place my views. I can right mouse click and tell it okay, or I can tell it okay on the dialog box. It's both the same thing. Can double click, change my scale. For some reason this got checked. I don't want it checked, so let me take the shading off of my view, and there's your part. So now you can place in your center lines. Even though you can barely see it, remember this is a curve, so you're going to have a little center line point there. And then think about what you're going to see from the front. This is a curve, it's that curve here. And if you want to place center lines in your isometric view, that's perfectly fine. Some people think it looks cool, so they do it anyway. And that's up to you. And then place your dimensions, dimension all your pieces, edit your title block to say the correct drawing number, and then save it, and you're ready to turn it into me.